$600 off the KEF LS50 META right now. KEF Holiday Savings Event has already started. $999 is a kick-ass deal for the LS50 META. This is just a quick public service announcement for you, the hi-fi enthusiast. Hi and welcome. I'm Hunter-Gray, and this is Hunter-Gray-LUV-Music. I have had these LS50 Metas for about 3 years now in my dining room and kitchen area. This is not where I sit down and get into my listening position and listen to music as an activity the way I do in my living room. In here is where my wife and I spend more time than in any other room, and we always have music playing. It's super important to both of us. However, we are listening while we are doing other things, moving all around this 15-foot wide by 30-foot long space. This means I don't want the sound of the music that is playing to change as I move around from spot to spot. And this is really a strength of the KEF LS50 Metas. Their coaxial design, I think, is also the front face is curved. I think both the coaxial design and that curved front face has an impact on, they're just very cohesive. It's not throwing the sound into the point of a triangle in the listening position, the way I have them set up. If you'll notice, they're not towed in, but hardly at all. And it means this large 15-foot wide by 30-foot long space just gets a beautiful sound everywhere that we go. The KEF LS50 Metas are not new in the market. I think they've been so popular, and they have just such a distinctive look. They're very modern, and they come in these cool colors in a great matte finish. I love the white. I've seen the blue in person. They're just, they're really, really well built and distinctive looking. You know, I think to the point where we can start to call the LS50 Metas an iconic stereo hi-fi look. At this $999 price right now, this is an amazing opportunity for people to seriously upgrade their sound of their hi-fi system at an amazing $999 price. That is a $600 saving. Don't be thrown off by the listed specs of the KEF. These, they have bass extension where I can clearly hear down to a 35 hertz test tone on mine. Also, based on my ownership over 3 years, don't worry too much about their efficiency ratings and the specs on paper, because I primarily use the Apos.audio FX10H EL84 tube amp at 12 watts per channel to drive my LS50 Metas to 89.5 dB peaks. But it's only at 90 dB peaks and above that the bass distortion, the bass begins to distort on that EL84 tube amp. If you like listening at SPL levels at 90 dBs or above, then you will want some Class D power to drive the LS50 Metas. But I want to let you know, I tested this out for you. I can reach on my WIM amp, which is only 60 watts per channel into 8 ohms, 120 watts into 4 ohms. I can, at 100% volume on the WIM amp, I can reach 93 dBs peaks on the LS50 Metas with zero distortion. So now, as I just mentioned, on the tube amp, the Apos.audio FX10H, I can reach 89.5 dB peaks at without any distortion. And that is with the volume dial on the FX10H at about 2 p.m. Beyond, you know, 90 and above, the tube amp starts to lose control of the woofer. But as you know, I don't ever listen for pleasure beyond dB peaks of 85 to 87 dBs. But since I have the gear in-house, I want to test the top SPL volume levels and report to you so you can know before buying based on what my experience has been. So I strongly recommend, as always, download a free dB meter app, discover at what dB peaks you listen at, what you actually listen at, not what you guess you are listening at. Find out exactly where your top level is. So, I think that's super important. Now, there are lots of YouTube reviews on these LS50 Metas, so I'm not going to do a full review here. This is about making you aware that you can get a great pair of speakers at $600 off for just $999. I think that's a steal. So here is my Monarch Notes or Cliff Notes version of a review for you. The LS50 Metas have excellent and wide soundstage. They have fantastic imaging. They have instrument separation that is so good from the LS50 Metas. The Metas can always sort out really busy and complex tracks that have a lot going on in the song. The LS50 Metas will layer and separate all of that complexity and present it all to you with all of the detail retrieval. To my ears, even on a Class D amp, that detail retrieval is never harsh or too bright. It presents all of that detail to you in a clean and accurate and pleasant, and I best characterize it as a transparent way. I love my LS50 Metas. My listening tastes, you may know, lean toward warm and smooth and sweet. And this is not their presentation on a clean, neutral Class D amp. So I primarily play them on my Apos.audio FX10H EL84 12 watt per channel tube amp. And this adds that tubiness tonality that I prefer. The LS50 Metas scale beautifully and sound better with better gear in your signal chain. This means I get to hear that warmer, richer, sweeter tonality that I want with the combo of the LS50 Metas and my Apos.audio FX10H. So one other note, as far as bass extension, when I play a 35 hertz test tone at 50% volume on the WIM amp, I can easily and clearly hear a 35 hertz test tone. The 30 hertz test tone, I can hear at 50% volume on the WIM amp, but it's significantly rolled off. But when I turn the WIM amp volume up to 75%, I can clearly hear the 30 hertz test tone. So that tells you whether you will, I think, decide whether you feel you need a subwoofer to pair with the LS50 Metas or not. It depends on your listening library. But that is based on test tone listening with a Class D amp, the WIM amp, what the bass extension really is, not what KEF's confusing listed specs for their in-room bass response. So my recommendation is, if you want to dip your toe in the water of upper level sound quality without paying an arm and a leg, this is your chance to hear something special in your hi-fi system. If you've been thinking about upgrading your speakers, this is the time. It's a great opportunity to save $600. And if you've been thinking about a secondary system for another room, then you're probably already familiar with the KEF LS50 Meta because they've been around for a few years with great reviews. And now, thanks to the KEF holiday savings that just started on Monday, you can save $600 and build a sweet secondary system around a high-end hi-fi speaker at a tremendous price, $999, $1,000. So my recommendation, get online and order these while you can save $600. As always, my goal is to help you reach and enjoy your hi-fi happy place. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again on the next video. Cheers.